In this video, I will teach you how to create presentations like Steve Jobs. So this video will especially help non-native speakers improve their presentation practice in English so they can create amazing presentations. And I wanted to say that my name is Artom and I've made more than 200 videos, webinars, and presentations in English in total. And I learned a lot of things while doing that. And so I will teach you in 3 simple steps how to create amazing presentations like me and like Steve Jobs. So let me jump to my computer and let's get started. So it all starts with an idea. So first you want to find a good idea for your presentation. How do you do that? Well, first I wanted to say that ideas are the currency of the 21st century. Like, it's probably the most important thing, right? Because without an idea, there will be no presentation. There will be no TED Talks. There will be nothing, right? Without an idea, there will be no watch. There will be no MacBook. There will be no books that are written about certain topics, right? So ideas are very important, and you want to find really good ideas for your presentations if you want your presentations to be memorable. Because a single idea, such as creating a watch or let's say an iPhone, like Steve Jobs created an iPhone, can make you millions, right? So if you find a good idea and you execute on it, then you can create a lot of wealth for yourself. You can become rich just out of this one single idea. But first we need to figure out, how do you actually find great ideas? Well, I would say that the quality of content you consume dictates the quality of your life and your spoken English, and also your ideas as well. So what I mean by this is that if you consume content like TikTok, cartoons, Instagram reels, or TV shows, it's not really going to generate ideas for you, right? If you want to create groundbreaking presentations, and if you want to actually get great ideas for your presentations or your products or something else in the future, or let's say your business, then you want to read high quality content. It could be books, for example, like reading a book or watching an educational video or an educational podcast is going to generate tons of different ideas for you. So that's the first step, which is to just consume educational content, and consume not just educational content, but inspirational content. Because if you're consuming educational content and that doesn't inspire you, then probably you want to consume something else, something that actually inspires you, that sparks you up. So for me, it was like this. I was watching a lot of TikTok in English in the beginning. I was just like listening to music, watching TikTok. Then I figured, you know what? I think I need to watch something more long form. So I started watching cartoons, like anime and stuff, TV shows. But then I quickly figured out that, I'm broke and it doesn't offer me, how do I say, good ideas and a lot of inspiration. I feel kind of depleted after I watch a TV show or anime. I just don't want to do anything else. Like, my dopamine levels are fucked after that. And so I figured, you know what? If I just watch educational videos and educational podcasts, maybe something inspirational, then I will have a lot of ideas. That's exactly what happened. So I started writing them down. This is very important. If you don't write down your ideas, then I guess, what are you going to talk about, right? You don't have ideas to talk about. How are you going to create presentations out of them? So you want to write down those ideas, right? And a good test is that when you write down an idea and tomorrow you look at it and you still feel inspired, it basically means that this idea is exactly what you need to execute on. Like, this idea is exactly what you need to do. This is the presentation that you need to create. But then ideas are easy, right? It's very easy to come up with ideas. You can just watch an educational video, write down some ideas, and then look at it tomorrow and see, okay, I have an idea, that's great. But then the next step is to actually execute. Like John Doerr, I like the word Doerr, his surname, Doerr. Ideas are easy. Execution is everything. So you have ideas, but now let's execute on them. So prepare and present. This is the second step. Now we actually want to create simple presentations for our ideas. So how do you do that? Well, it's very easy to do. First, you want to nail down the structure for your presentation. So for non-native speakers, I made it very simple. The first thing you want to do is to just simply create promise and proof. So what it means is that you promise people something. Like in the beginning of this video, I promised you that you will learn how to create good presentations. And also I gave some proof. So I said that, I've helped a lot of people improve their spoken English. I also have my community and stuff like that. And for you, maybe you don't have like a lot of proof. It could be very simple, such as, guys, I read this book about public speaking, and here are the 9 insights from this book. Or you can just say, I watched this podcast about, what could it be? Graphic design. And in this video, I want to talk about it, right? You're basically summarizing something. You're summarizing something bigger, just like I'm doing it with my students. So it's like I have my community, I talk with my students, and then, so it's like the first step is to just consume information. I consume information, I listen to my students, and then I speak about it, right? And I say to people, you know what? I have a lot of proof. I'm an expert in this. And so I'm going to talk about it in this video. That's it. If I didn't have a lot of proof, if I didn't have a community, I would just simply say, hello guys, I read this book. It's called Talk Like TED, about presentations and, and I'm going to talk about this book in this video. It's already some proof, right? You can also say something along the lines of, I was productive for 7 days, and so here's my routine that I followed. And in this video, I'll break down step by step how you can follow it and how you can become productive too, right? So people trust you because you have done the thing. Maybe you've read the book. Maybe you've actually done your first presentation ever, and people want to listen to that. People want to listen to you talk about this, right? So presentations are ideas and also stories as well. So if you have a story to tell, it's already a presentation. You can create a presentation out of it, right? Then promise as well. So promise is just you promising something in the beginning that people are going to get out of this presentation. So it's like you say, yeah, I read this book, but then nobody cares about that, right? People start caring when you promise them something. When you promise them that in this video, you will actually learn 9 secrets from this book. When you say that, then people want to continue listening to you. So this is the first step. And it should take you like maybe 30 to 90 seconds to introduce yourself, to explain the promise, and also the proof. Then the second step is to provide steps. 1, 2, and 3. It could be more steps. It could be just one step inside the presentation, or it could be not steps, but list of things. For example, the first idea, second idea, third idea, and something like this. And basically all presentations are structured this way. All videos on YouTube are structured this way as well. They are simply talking about steps, ideas, lists of things, or stories. They can, like, for example, say about they can talk about their first story, the second story, the third story, and the list goes on, right? And also a CTA at the end is also very important. So you break down step by step how people can achieve a certain outcome, for example, how they can speak on camera, and then, or how they can create a presentation. And then at the end, you provide a short CTA. So for example, you say, so now it's your turn to record your first video on YouTube, or now it's your turn to start speaking fluent English, or now it's your turn to learn graphic design, or now it's your turn to learn video editing, or something like this, right? And a CTA could also be you providing some links to your social media as well. For example, if you want to learn how to edit videos, then you can follow my Instagram page, or you can go to my community, and there you will learn how to do that. So this is a CTA. As you can see, it's very simple. And actually, let's break down the second one, which is steps, in more details. Actually, every step is an idea. So it could be a metaphor, it could be a story, it could be an example as well. So, like, how do I say? Every presentation is like a tree, like, right? There's the main idea, which is like the root of the tree, but then there are all these small branches, and there are also ideas. So that's the thing. If you want to present a good presentation, of course you want to have like an idea in the core of it. But then when you are talking about this idea, other ideas will naturally surface like a tree. And so you want to provide more ideas. You want to provide stories, metaphors, and examples. For example, you can provide a metaphor. It could be every step is an idea. So metaphor is basically a comparison between two things, right? For example, in this case, every step is an idea. So I'm comparing step to an idea, and this is a metaphor, right? Then I could also provide a story. For example, when I was 5 years old, I made my first presentation. It sucked, but then I learned how to do presentations or something like this. I'm telling a story. So as you can see, promise and proof first, then steps. It could be metaphor, stories, or examples inside these steps. And then you provide a CTA at the end of the presentation as well. Very simple. Now we actually want to prepare to kill all nervousness before we're giving a speech. And the thing is, it's not really nervousness, it's low energy. So when you are speaking to your friend, let's say you are at a social gathering and you're speaking to your friend, you know him for a very long time, you probably have a lot of energy, right? It could also be a new person you've never spoken to before, but the thing is, you'll probably have a lot of energy because you're meeting with that person in real life, right? You see that person, you see his eyes, you have eye contact. There's no delay between you both. There's no, there's no internet problems and stuff like that. And so you can easily talk with that person in real life and you will get real-time feedback. And because of that, you have 100% of energy. But when you go on a Zoom call or when you are recording a video, you're just basically speaking to a piece of metal. You're speaking to your laptop. You're speaking on a phone. And that's very difficult because you have less energy overall. Because you're not seeing real human beings. You're just looking at freaking LEDs on your screen, right? Like these are not real people. Of course, there are real people somewhere in a different part of the globe, let's say. But the thing is, you're just looking at your screen. So that's a problem. And you want to increase your energy because you don't want to sit like this dog on this picture before giving a presentation, right? Like you don't want to say, "Oh, this is fine. Yeah, I feel confident. Yes, I feel confident. This is fine," right? You don't want to sit like that. You don't want to sit on fire. You want to be confident. You want to be composed, and you want to have 100% of energy before you're giving a presentation. So how do you do that? Well, it's very easy to do. There are just 3 simple steps. Bring your energy to 100% by doing 10 push-ups or doing some kind of exercise, maybe doing deep breaths. So you can do 3 to 10 deep breaths. So you're just simply breathing in and then breathing out. Then you can also play your favorite energizing music. Usually I play Coldplay. I just like listening to Coldplay, and they have a lot of energizing music. So you probably have your own favorite energizing songs that you can play before giving a talk, and that's going to help you as well. And then you can also rehearse the presentation loudly before presenting it. This is probably the cheat code, because when you are giving a presentation, you can be speaking very quietly, right? And because of that, sometimes people don't hear you. People don't hear what you are trying to say. And so in order to make your voice louder, in order to appear more confident, you actually want to exaggerate it before you are giving a presentation. So you basically want to read the text of the presentation. You just simply want to go through the presentation and read the text of the presentation very, very loudly. So for example, you want to say, bring your energy to 100%, do 10 push-ups, do deep breaths, favorite energizing music, rehearse the presentation loudly. So when you're doing this, that activates more confidence in you. And that actually brings your energy to 100% because it requires you more energy to talk that way. So as a result of that, you will increase your energy, and then it will become a lot easier for you to reduce your nervousness, and you will feel much more confident when you are giving a presentation. So then the question is how to speak like a native, how to speak like Steve Jobs. Well, the goal is not to speak perfectly. The goal is to just make them understand, right? The goal is not to try to impress people with your fluent communication. The goal is not to show how amazing you are. The goal is to just make them understand what your idea is about, because it's really not about you. Every time you're giving a presentation, it's not about how confident you feel. It's not about how good your presentation is. It's just about conveying your main point. It's just about explaining your idea in the best possible way. When you can do that, that's when your presentation is amazing. But when you're just simply trying to impress people with amazing graphics or with amazing speech or something like that, or with amazing vocabulary, then it doesn't work because people don't give a damn about this. Like there's a lot of instances of people giving kind of mid presentations, like they weren't great, graphics were poor, the quality of the presentation was not that great, but they were just very passionate about what they were talking about. They were passionate about the idea that they were trying to convey to others. And so because of the good idea, and also because of the fact that the person who was presenting this idea was able to communicate it clearly, he was able to give a really good presentation. That's it. And so focus on the person you're talking to. Try to explain them this idea in the best possible way. Do not focus on yourself. Do not focus on your mistakes. Do not focus on your English. Focus solely on the person you're talking to. Drop all thoughts about your English. Like I'm just going to continue talking about this because drop all thoughts about your English, about your mistakes, and about everything that goes on in your mind. Only think about how you can impact the person you're talking to with your amazing idea, because you know that this idea is going to help that person in some way, right? So then also keep it simple. Like please do not use complex vocabulary. Chase simple words. Like chase them, okay? Every time you see a difficult word in your presentation, eliminate it. Like just simply eliminate it. Stop trying to impress people with your vocabulary. Just simply make it as simple as possible, because even Steve Jobs said, simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. So when you make it very simple, then first off, it eases pressure because it makes it easier for you to explain everything, because the presentation is very simple, and that's like a gift for you, because as a non-native speaker, you actually want to simplify everything as much as possible, because it's very difficult for you to articulate yourself using complex vocabulary, right? So simplify everything first, and then when you simplify everything for yourself, you're not doing it only for yourself, you're doing it for the other person as well. You're making it very easy for the other person to understand your idea. So again, it goes back to the first point that I was talking about, which is you're simplifying it just because you want to explain your idea to the person you're talking to, and that's it. And so then, this is, I would say, a bit complicating, yeah, but I'm gonna explain it right now. So you want to provide enough text for you to describe an idea. What I mean by this is that sometimes I try to use complex text and like a lot of text to describe an idea. And sometimes I used very, very little text and it was very simple. Like sometimes I just used some pictures, right? It was just like headline and some pictures and that's it. So the reason why sometimes I'm using different presentation styles is because I'm trying to support my English this way. Sometimes if it's really difficult for you to explain an idea in English, do not try to explain it. Simply write down the explanation, okay? So if the idea is complex, for example, I was trying to talk about journaling and I didn't know how to talk about this topic, I just decided to write down everything that's going to help me to elaborate on that topic so I can fall back to that, right? But then when I was confident about a certain topic like I am today, I can just simply provide some pictures, a headline, and that's it. And I can easily express myself talking about that topic. So if you feel that it's a bit difficult for you to talk about a certain topic, just simply write down a little bit more text for your presentation. Like don't try to go overboard and provide like 20 different sentences for your idea. Just make it very simple. And then if you are confident about a topic, if you can easily talk about that, then just provide some pictures, right? And you can articulate yourself even without text. That's how it works. At least that's how it works for me. So when I'm not sure, I make my presentation a bit more complex, not too much. And when I'm sure about a certain topic, then I can just provide one picture like Steve Jobs in his presentations and just talk about that. That's it. And so one more thing that I want to talk about in this video, because this is literally how you create really good presentations. As you can see, like it's not that difficult. And one more thing is that we all need people who will give us feedback. That's how we improve. Yeah, I know this is a quote from Bill Gates, competitor of Steve Jobs. That's funny. But He's goddamn right. We actually need other people to give us feedback because this is how we will improve our presentations. So the third part is get feedback. So why feedback is essential? Why it is so important? Well, let me give you... Sorry, before going to that, I wanted to say that you definitely want to drink water because I just spoke for 20 minutes and I got so thirsty that I just simply went to the kitchen and got some water. Yeah, so let's continue. Now let's go back to the presentation, and I wanted to explain why feedback is so essential with my short story. So it took me 3 months to record my first video, and then after that it took me 3 months to record my second video, and then it took me another 3 months to record this video right here, Car in the Desert Scene Breakdown, and make it public. So it took me a lot of time to just create 3 videos in English. It took me about 9 months, right? And the thing is, I was hardworking. So I was working 10 hours a day. It was not a problem for me to make that video in like 2 days or 3 days. And then I also had a lot of time as well. I could work for 10 hours every single day. I didn't do anything else. I can just like work on my videos every single day. But I still spent 3 months to record my first video. And then I spent 9 months in total to record just 3 videos in English. Why did it take me so much time? Well, I was just simply shouting into the void. Okay? I didn't know what videos I really want to make. I didn't know whether people actually watched my videos or not. I was afraid that people are going to judge me. I was afraid that people won't understand what I was talking about. I feared that they are not going to understand my English. I feared that, my videos just suck, and I feared that it's not structured properly. I feared so many different things. I had so many different limiting beliefs. I was afraid. And because of that, even though I was hardworking, even though I had a lot of time to record my videos, I still wasn't able to do that. Simply because I was shouting into the void. And because I didn't get any feedback from other people. So the question is, how did I get feedback? Well, when I posted this video right here, Car in the Desert Scene Breakdown, in a Discord group, I was amazed because someone said to me, bro, like this video is easy to understand. Like it was just like a random Discord channel. There was like 20 people inside of that community. And someone said to me, dude, like this video is easy to understand and I love that video. Continue making those videos. It's cool. And so after that, I was like, holy shit. Actually, people understand what I was trying to say. And this guy was probably a native speaker. So native speakers understand me, It's my third video and native speakers understand what I'm trying to say. That's awesome. And my video is actually really good. So I can continue making those kinds of videos. That's great. And so I made my next video in just 7 days. It didn't take me 3 months to record that. It took me just 7 freaking days, right? So then I was able to apply my hard work. I was able to apply all the time that I had to create amazing videos on YouTube. Simply because I knew that people understand me. I knew that my videos are becoming better and better with every single one. And so because of that, I was no longer afraid of making videos on YouTube. And this is amazing, right? And so I've helped 50 plus students record their own presentations. 200 videos in total. Like they've recorded more than 200 videos. And it was all feedback that has helped them. The thing is, every single person who was able to record their second video did that only because they got feedback on their first video. Because a lot of people are trying to shout into the void, they're trying to record a bunch of videos in English, but nobody gives them feedback. And so because of that, they feel nervous, they feel like people don't understand them. They are afraid of expressing themselves when speaking on camera, when speaking to other people, when giving presentations. And because of that, they never try. But as soon as you get your first feedback, and as soon as you understand that people actually understand what you are talking about, if that makes sense, then you will continue doing that and you will have more motivation and you will actually understand what you need to improve. And so I'm the person who can give you feedback. And I also have my own community for entrepreneurs and creators who think global. What I mean by this is that they do not fear taking bold risks. They do not fear going global and talking in English because I know it's very difficult to talk in a different language, especially starting like a business or running a business in a different language. It's very tough to do, right? But they understand that if they create a business in their native language, or if they simply try to do presentations or speaking practice in their native language, they're not going to get far, right? They may reach the top of the mountain, but they're not going to reach the whole planet. That's why we want to think global. And so if you resonate with this message, you can join our community, which is called Global English. And here's what you get inside of our community. It's all just feedback. So first, we do presentation practice calls every week where you get a chance to present your own presentation, or you can also record a video and we will also give you feedback. Then we also have feedback course. I mean, the name speaks for itself. And also I offer you a one-to-one call. So it's called Fluency Roadmap, where I will also provide you feedback on your spoken English, so you can improve your spoken English in the next 3 to 6 months and achieve your amazing global results. So if that sounds interesting, then you can check out our community. And if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe, and I see you in the next one. Bye-bye.